No cold open today, guys. We're going right into it. I'm going to tell you about onion salading. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Business Guy Show. I think we're off to a really great start. So for today, try not to get too confused by the title. By the end of the video, it will all make sense, and you will have a new awesome term in your business vocabulary to bust out to defend yourself when your service or labor is being exploited. So have you ever felt yourself trapped in a situation where someone just keeps asking you to do more and more and more, and it seems like they just want to take you for everything you've got, and compensation for the extra work is not even part of the conversation? Maybe you hear things like,
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
What is at the heart of a mess like this? The problem, my friends, is expectations. Expectations are subjective, and how much a person expects to receive in a given deal or transaction in order to feel like they got their money's worth is oftentimes very personal, and it can also be cultural. So for today's case study, I want to look at a particular nuance with the word service that happens here in Korea. Then we'll look at how you can apply this lesson to your own situation, and finally, I'm gonna tell you some things that I have done in my business to protect myself from getting onion saladed. So what does it mean to get onion saladed already? Hold on, I'm getting there. I mentioned to you guys in the What is a Business video before that I live in Seoul, Korea. And while I'm no scholar on Korean culture, I have been living here for 5 years and I speak the language. So I'd say I'm entitled to make a few observations. One of those observations is the particular way that Koreans treat the word service. In Konglish, which is the hybrid and oftentimes misincorporation of English words into everyday Korean, the word service, or 서비스, means something that is added on for free to make a deal feel more like a bargain. This reflects the culture-wide practice of customer pampering, which is evident all over the place, from the obligatory instant coffee machine for guests that you find in most every service store, to the free refill side dishes called banchan at restaurants that accompany your meal, to the less adorable cases like store clerks being attacked for refusing to give refunds for damaged merchandise, taxi drivers getting slapped around, and the occasional corporate airline scion turning a whole damn plane around on the tarmac because they didn't serve her the nuts correctly. The short of it is that customer entitlement is a big thing here, but something really special and magical happens here in Korea, at Costco of all places, that really helps us see how expectations getting out of hand is something that affects us all. Let's take a field trip to Costco. Korean Costco. Here at Korean Costco, my Korean brothers and sisters think that, hey, if I pay for a hot dog, I'm not just gonna get a hot dog, I'm gonna get a whole lot of other more stuff too. Like look here. This onion dispenser is here for me to put onions on the hot dog. But why not just take a plate of onions for my hot dog? Or better yet, even if I didn't order a hot dog, why not just make an onion salad? I paid, so I'm entitled to do with that sweet little onion dispenser whatever I so please. And this, my friends, is onion salading. Onion salading is when the customer or client takes for granted something that you offer as complimentary and treats it like something they are allowed to take full advantage of. I may have used the case study example of what goes on here in Korea, but for a lot of us, particularly in the service industry or creative industry, protecting yourself from onion salading is a serious issue. You think you just have to make someone a hot dog, and after you've given that to them, instead of a thank you, they give you a puzzled look and ask you, where's the onion salad? I assure you that this happens all over the world in various cultures and across all industries in its own particular and frustrating way. Let me run a scenario that I think a lot of you will find all too familiar. What happens when you think the project or contract is finished, but your client doesn't? They just keep asking you for more of this and more of that, and maybe more of something that you didn't even ever offer in the first place. I'll go one step further. Let's say that they think the job is not done and you've only been half paid or not paid at all. Or how about this? Let's say you haven't been paid yet and you hired people to help you with the project who you now owe money to. How about we make it worse again? Let's say you haven't been paid yet and you owe people money and you're over budget. Guys, I know I might sound kind of funny right now, but I've been in all of these situations, and let me assure you, when a month or 6 months or a year of your time has been spent and the paycheck is now evaporating before your eyes, ain't a damn thing funny. Still not sure about what I am talking about? Here are some things that I have been onion saladed for, and maybe it will ring a bell for some of you. I have had a client onion salad me for more location options when I had already provided close to 100. I'm not exaggerating. I've had a client ask for more edits or revisions of a product without giving specific direction on what they were looking for, and worse, Directions that were contradictory, like make it happy but not too happy, classic but young, small but also big. Also, I've had deadlines get pushed back because, hey, my time is free, right? Push that deadline back to infinity so I can work for forever, right? In all of these situations, and there are tons of other examples, I thought I only needed to make a hot dog for somebody, and now they expect a whole heaping plate of onion salad with it for free. So how do you prevent your labor or your company's service from being eroded away by vicious onion salading? Let me go over a few ways that my partners and I have come up with. Keep in mind that when you employ any of these methods, you need to be respectful. I fundamentally believe that most people are good, even difficult people. And by being patient and sympathetic to their problems while you explain yours, you will have a greater chance of finding common ground and a solution that everyone can be happy about. The trick is never putting yourself in a position to become someone's free onion salad dispenser in the first place, because once you do, my friends, they will make onion salad. Every time, guaranteed, I promise you. Recognize that everyone is a potential onion salader. I don't care if it's your friend, your friend's friend, your best friend, or your friend's best friend. Anyone has the potential to put the old onion salad maneuver on you. Oftentimes they say that family and business don't mix, and I think that it has something to do with situations like this. It's hard to say no or put a limit on what you can do with a family member or a dear friend. But when you are sacrificing too much of your time for someone else, or they are taking clear advantage of your kindness, you gotta call it what it is. It's onion salading. That time and energy that you are using making heaping plates of onion salad that are just going to be thrown in the garbage could be devoted to doing something that you want to do instead. You need to stand up for yourself and make people aware of that. That's why before you start a job, contract, or project, no matter who it is for, know in the back of your mind that there might come a time when you might have to tell the person you are working for that the kitchen is closed, and you need to be mentally prepared for that. Do not make promises that you cannot deliver on or promise outcomes that you do not have 100% control over. And that means a great many things. Look, I'm a people pleaser at heart. I want everyone to get what they want, and I want everyone to like me. And while that is a good trait for a manager or a communications officer or sales representative, etc., something that people like that tend to do is we tend to overpromise things because we want everyone's dreams to come true. Well, guess what? That is exactly how you create messed up expectations. To avoid that, when someone is asking you what is possible, that is just their way of signaling to you what they want. That does not mean that you have to respond with a promise right there on the spot. Don't get me wrong though, this also doesn't mean that you should just reply with maybe to every little request. Make strong judgments based upon what you are indeed sure of. But when you legitimately are not sure, for whatever reason, be it because budget hasn't been discussed, personnel haven't been chosen, or weather is a factor, or because of any variable in general, just let your boss or your client know that you will look into it. Then, after you look into it and figure out what it is going to take to make their wish come true, you have a researched response instead of blind optimism. You will gain confidence from knowing that you haven't promised anything impossible, which leads to the next method. You have to set clear expectations, and you have to do it in writing, preferably with everybody's signature all over it. That's called a contract, and a contract is a set the expectations straight machine. It's not just a funny legal document that only lawyers can write, but I do advise you to get one if a lot of money is on the line. If you are an expert in your field or are paid to act like one, you, my friend, can write a contract. Here's another way to think of a contract. A contract is a roadmap to getting paid. Like a real map, the more detailed it is in its definitions and positions, the easier it will be to follow without mistake or misunderstanding. You start the contract by explaining, okay, we are going to go straight on, here is the exact amount of work I am going to do for you, Boulevard. Then we make a left here at, here is what the final product is going to look like, Avenue. And then a slight right onto, we're almost done, and I'm ready to show you so that you can make last-minute requests or edits, Thoroughfare. And then we arrive at our destination, which is, this is how I'm going to invoice you so that you can pay me in a timely fashion. Put in deadlines and dates that you know you can keep and that everyone can keep in order to stay focused. If deadlines can change, fine. But make provisions for exactly how and why that can be so. It all might sound a little uncomfortable and unfamiliar, but let me guarantee you something. I guarantee you big time that the little uncomfortable conversations at the beginning of a job that set the expectations correctly will save you huge frustrations at the end when you're being treated like a sliced onion dispenser and it's time to make never-ending onion salad. When they want more from you, you just say, "Hey pal, look at the contract. That's not what we agreed on and I don't have the resources for it." And they'll say, "Oh yeah, you're right." Then and only then, if you think it's okay, you can decide to give a little extra or do more work. And that is way more impressive to clients than just being their slaves. And I don't want to have to remind you guys again that slavery is not condoned here in the Business Guys channel. So go online and look at some sample contracts that apply to your field. Get a feel for what it's about and reverse engineer one tailored to your specific needs. Don't forget to include an amazing bridge, which is our next method. A client or boss telling you that they want you to do more work is like the number one best thing in the history of all things if you have created a bridge that allows you to get proper compensation for the extra work. Yeah, that's right. Getting onion saladed can be a great thing if you put a clause for extra compensation in the contract. It should sound something like this. "Hey, here is the budget for the project," or "Here is my proposed salary, here is how much I am prepared to do, and extra work is going to cost an extra hourly rate, or incur an extra overtime rate, or a whole new budget estimate together," or whatever you think can be worked out. Remember, the more fair you make your bridge to compensation, the more appealing it will sound to the person you are presenting it to. And guess what? If someone doesn't want to put a clause in a contract for you to get more compensation when they lay more work on you, that's a red flag that you're not going to like working with this person. So don't. In short, if someone is onion salading you, offer them a bridge of your choosing to more onions. Conclusion. I've been there, guys. We've all been there. That moment where it's the middle of the night and you should be home playing with your cats or chatting with your husband or wife or throwing the ball around with your friend, or working on your dream, but instead you're hunkered up behind a desk, zombied out from coffee, working on someone else's dream. Business is business, but when done correctly, it is done in a way that respects the fact that we all have our own lives to live, and we're not put on earth to be slaves to other people's interests. That's precisely why we fight so hard to get fair compensation for the work that we do. Remember that before getting into any business agreement with anyone. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy learning about onion salading. In the comments, I'd love to hear about your culture or your country's version of onion salading and how people deal with it. Or if you have any other suggestions about how to prevent onion salading, please let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.
I ordered the hot dogs, so you still gotta order the brisket.
I'll get the brisket.